What's going on, guys? Just wanted to speak a little with you today about kind of what's been going on in my mind and where I think things are going to be going, and kind of just, I'm going to ramble on for a little bit. Currently, right now, things are a little crazy. As I record this, the whole thing with GameStop, BlackBerry, Nokia, AMC, and all of these corporations, and this whole thing with Reddit's going on, and you can really see how, I don't want to say corrupted, but how much goes into these things where, like, the stock market you feel is one way, but you see it's not perfect. And this is a real way of seeing it. And I'm really looking at it and wondering, like, what's going to happen from this? Truly, I believe with this and with this whole COVID situation, truly, I've been thinking about it a lot. And I truly believe the world will never be the same. Not to say that things will change for worse. I truly believe we'll be evolving and better things will happen. More so, technology, will bring us some good things, hopefully, such as a vaccine. Some people aren't as, or shall I say, they don't believe in technology as much as I'd say I do. Some people say technology can ruin us. Technology is going to be our downfall. And that could be a possibility. But from what I've seen, from what I feel, I truly believe that, we're growing at an exponential rate in terms of technology. Like the people growing up these days, they're born into a digital world. Most of them won't know what a house phone is. Most of them won't know what a CD is. Remember those CDs? Currently recording on a laptop right now that doesn't even have a CD option. I was clearing up my room and I found some old CDs I wanted to listen to. And the easiest way to do that was via my PlayStation. Because who has CD players anymore? And think about how fast things move. How, the days of people selling you a mixtape, going to HMV to listen to CDs. And can you believe that? Like, imagine, I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm sure you do. They used to have headphones where you can try on and listen to music. And that was just a thing. And now, you can't even be in the same store as someone else. You can't even be inside the store. Everything is still locked down here. And I'm recording this on Thursday, January 28th, 2021. And, my outlook on this year is that things are going to be great. I truly believe there are some hiccups. There are some things that are kind of being figured out, whether it's this whole stock market situation, healthcare, just a lot of policies that have been even implemented with this whole start of the COVID pandemic. Watching TV, something simple like that, it feels eerie when you see people just walking down the street, hugging, going for that handshake. When's the last time you shook somebody's hand? It's been a long time. I'm not talking no like, elbow poke, like that's elbow daps. That's all right, but like experiencing a nice hug. And I feel like right now more than ever, people are really missing that. People are missing that touch. As much as I say we're going to move digitally and things along those lines, yeah. But I truly believe now more than ever, people are really, really missing social interaction. And that leads to them going more and more online looking for validation. And normally that's from strangers. And at the end of the day, why do you care what a stranger thinks? That doesn't go for you. That goes for me. That goes for everyone. At the end of the day, we're always, looking for just a little moment, a little nudge showing us that, hey, people still vibe with us. They liked my photo on Instagram. They must really enjoy me. They must really like what I'm doing. But that's not always the case. They could just be for a fact, just doing it for some other ulterior motives. And I'm not trying to get deep into that, but just a lot been going on through my mind and how like the world and how we're going to come out of this. Like everyone is trying to work out at home, and all of this gym equipment is back ordered, and these guys are making a killing. Whoever's making weights, selling things along those lines. And, shout out to the people who've really adapted. And as soon as the lockdown hit, they didn't wait for gyms to open up again or anything along those lines. They just, either started doing body weights or figured it a way out to do it at home. And, shout out to also the people who are personal trainers and things along those lines that had to really adapt and see what was going to come out of this. No one truly knew. No one truly knows still. When we'll be able to go to the gym again without a mask? Or just like, anything along those lines. Can you have someone spot you at the gym? Is that even a thing anymore? Or do I have to prove that we're both in the same household if I want a friend to spot me on the bench press? Random, yes. But little things like that. Just this whole hospitality business and industry is just been flipped. Restaurants, hotels, people that work in tourism. It's messed up. However, you'd like to think that this will change the way people do business and maybe will help them. There are many restaurants that, didn't believe in takeout and didn't believe in, being on these delivery platforms such as Uber Eats, Skip the Dishes, DoorDash, whatever you name it. I mean, at the end of the day, yes, they take about 30%, I believe. It's a lot. I get it. And so, the food doesn't travel well, putting the food in someone else's hands before it hits the client. I get it. But at the end of the day, people now more than ever, they just want things instant, right to them. Like, how many times have you found yourself just being lazy? Maybe not you, but I'll do this a lot. I'll drive by the restaurant, go home, or go wherever I'm at, and then order it from it because it's easier. Even something like ordering pizza. Yeah, I can go on the Pizza Nova, Pizza website, the app, whatever it may be. But I find myself just going on the delivery service, doing it that way, and just having it Ubered. Why is that? They've got me accustomed. It's seamless usually. And it's one of those businesses, like, how many times have they screwed up, but you still go back? Now, is that just because they have more funds and they can just buy out the small guys? Partially true. You know, having worked at a local startup before that was meant in the delivery space and things along those lines, as Uber was one of our competitors, you kind of realize that sometimes it's very tough to go against these guys. You know, they're operating at a loss. They're undercutting everybody. But that's just the power of investing, venture capitalism, things along those lines. You can argue that with anything, even like something like Walmart. And people have argued that Walmart can ruin a community because they just have the huge economies of scale where they can just buy these massive amounts that the local mom and pop can't. And at the end of the day, are you going to buy, I don't know, like let's say a screwdriver for a random, it's $10 at your local home hardware, or Walmart's selling it for $7.99. And then you're like, okay, well, it's less expensive. And I also need milk. And they got milk too. And maybe I need toilet paper as well, because I realized that, I'm running low. I'll do that. It really makes it tough to kind of go against that. And that's why Walmart's so successful. Not just them. The new one everyone likes to hate on these days is Amazon. And, calling Jeff Bezos a bad person, I'm not sure if I agree with that. I don't know enough about him and the practices. And, I do try to shop local because I truly believe in that. And shopping small businesses, where you're literally putting the money in the person's hand. And, that could be them, that one sale could be them paying a bill. Whereas Amazon, you're just cranking out the orders. And you know what? I don't really feel that type of experience, that shopping experience where it's, it keeps you coming back because of the human interaction or the touch, the story behind the brand, those ones. But Amazon's got those huge economies of scale. Like, I can order something right now. It's about 2:30 in the afternoon, and it'll be here tomorrow. That's pretty amazing. You can literally order almost anything. And yes, maybe it doesn't always come in at once, but they can try, right? Obviously, we've all had those ones where Amazon will come 3-4 times in a day, depending on what you ordered. But that's how it is. Find most people, including myself, I'm probably ordering something on Amazon Prime once a week. Whether it's an iPhone cord or a coffee mug or anything that's exercise related, you can order like some exercise stuff on that. Even like this microphone, I bought it off Amazon. A gimbal, I bought it off Amazon. Just looking around my room and saying, what else did I buy on Amazon? I have vitamins. I'm looking at Amazon. And I've just been kind of trying to figure out and like realize how much we consume, and a lot of it is unconscious. You start doing a little deep cleaning, which I just did, and like you forget about clothes. Like obviously I like clothes, but like there's stuff I haven't worn or it's been in the box for like a couple years. Why do I still have it? I mean, it brought me joy at the time, but now it's just, I don't know. Just kind of questions going on my mind. It's like, did I really like it? If I bought it and didn't use it for like 2 years, or I wore it once and it's just in the closet. I have trouble hoarding stuff and, letting go of things. Because I'm like, it's sentimental. Maybe I'll use it one day. Maybe I'll regret throwing it out. Yeah. But I've slowly realized that as I've gotten rid of stuff, it's kind of made me lighter. Normally, if I buy something, try not to, but if I've been buying like clothing or shoes or something like that, if I buy one, I gotta give away two. Whether it's donate, sell, give it to a friend. Yeah, it's just kind of keeping my consumption, because you realize like I got a lot of shit. I got a lot of stuff. And you don't realize what you have until you start cleaning, or just realizing it's like, how often am I using this? Making time and making importance for things that are obviously valuable, but things that bring you happiness and joy. And in my case, that can mean anything, right? In your case, it's different. Mine is different. But I'm just talking about consumption and just kind of how, like, going back to like how I see ourselves moving in this new 20 post-COVID ways. People have gotten used to A, delivery, B, instant. People like instant. And C, I mean, as much as I want to say we need our face-to-face interactions, I kind of like not having to deal with the Uber guy. Just leave my stuff and I'll get it. Things along those lines. Like I kind of like just leave my, like, whatever I'm ordering or this and that, just let it be. Also, like, that whole, like, that meeting can been turned into a phone call or FaceTime. That's proven now more than ever. I think many people will come out of this pandemic realizing, and even companies realizing, like, there was no need to be in an office sitting down 5 days a week for 40 hours. No need. Not necessary. Because most people were just buying the time. Just buying the time. And I really think, this work from home, this remote way of doing business is coming. And, I'm not saying it scares me, but as someone who's worked in face-to-face sales and, retail, obviously I'm very blessed. But, I am aware that people's buying, I don't want to say, their buying behavior is different now. People still do want to purchase. Everyone loves feeling good about themselves. And sometimes buying an article of clothing, makeup, even a car, people don't just buy vehicles for transportation. We know that there are different levels of cars for different reasons. And yes, either to show off, or, you can certainly just really be a fan of technology and cars and how much they've grown, and, different engines and specs and this and that. Yeah. But it also tells you a lot about your personality. What car do you drive? What do you wear? Who do you hang out with? These things all kind of tell us about a person. And yeah, so I really think that, I've noticed even in myself buying trends differently. People are buying stuff, including myself, off Instagram ads. A lot of who I would trust before, whether it was looking at GQ, looking for certain style icons, they're now replaced with like influencers, people on YouTube, podcasters. This is how we're getting our information. And, there's no better tool than finding out if someone died than Instagram or Twitter, because it's instant. How many people have you learned passed away through social media? Think about, when was the last time you went on a news site? The Toronto Star, the Globe and Mail, anything along those lines. Toronto Sun, the National Post. Honestly, most of my news now comes from Reddit. I'll go on Reddit, and they've got it all. It's not perfect. It's something you click once and you can be there for hours or days, because Reddit is pretty much, I don't want to say it's designed, but it really sucks me in, at least. I'd say it's one of my favorite social media platforms. I would definitely have Reddit over Instagram or anything like that. Not sure if you can call it a social media platform, because it's like a website. But yeah, I think you could. And you kind of get to see how the power, kind of bring it back of what I started talking about with this whole stock thing going on. The power of people online. It's mad. It's so awesome what you can do. And we're seeing people on Twitch, Instagram Live, YouTube, and they're killing it. We're starting to realize how much people, especially now, are at home bored and they need content. And sometimes you want legit content, like organic content. And that's kind of what kind of draws myself, or let's say other people, into YouTube and Instagram in comparison to watching TV, because you know, everything is so filtered on TV. Same with, you know, all these other platforms, but especially TV and Hollywood and these things like that, Netflix. It's you know, it's all edited and this and that. Whereas watching someone live on Twitch, you really feel like you can connect to the person. You can literally ask them something. You can literally talk to them. You know, when was the last time you feel like you could talk to your style icon or your favorite athlete And, athletes are being replaced by esports players, and being able to talk to them and watch them. Another very interesting thing that came out as well is a lot of these athletes and celebrities being online and live streaming themselves, bringing you more into their own personal lives, showing more about them. The transparency right now is now more than ever. I feel like, yes, you want to keep certain things private, but right now it's literally a global village, a term coined by Marshall McLuhan. And right now it's truly a global village. We're all connected. We're all wired, which is hilarious because us being wired and connected all the time really drives us to be alone and really longs us for solitude sometimes. And it's tricky because we see us always connected, and that's such a great thing. And being able to FaceTime anyone at a click of a button, being able to talk to people all the time. But not only are people, I would say now, lonely more than ever, like more lonely, I don't know if that's true, but maybe. But people are craving to being alone. Like, people are craving to be out in nature more than ever. You see people doing van life, just driving around, because we're being distracted so much. And I feel a lot of people are unhappy right now. It's not because they don't have choices and because they feel like they're at a wall. I think it's because more so we have too many choices, and being able to kind of swing there and do this or do that. It's a lot of pressure because you don't know where to start. And, before old generations, you worked, you had a job, and you stuck with that. The world was a different place, though. You didn't have people on Instagram all day showing you about their lives and kind of how to make it their way. Oh, wow, if I just do this, I'll be just as famous or rich as XYZ. People didn't really have those connections before. It was just like what you saw on TV. Or if you were lucky enough to go to a concert. But keep in mind, there was no phones back then. So you had to watch it. You had to listen. People were more present. Whereas now you can't go to a concert without seeing people's phones recording all the time. I feel like everyone should have their opportunity to record memories and, relive them at a different time. That's a great thing. Don't get it twisted. But an interesting thing happened that changed kind of how it was just a nice experience. So I went to go see a comedian in New York, and at the Comedy Cellar in Soho. And when you walk in, you got to put your phone in a bag, and it's locked until after the show. And if they catch you using your phone, you're out of there. Kind of interesting, kind of excessive. For their reasons, it's because they don't want people filming the comics jokes while they're working on stuff, XYZ. But I thought about how now I was forced to pay attention. I didn't have time to reply to that text. That probably wasn't important because I'm in New York and the person who texted me is probably in Toronto or wherever. And it's not really what's going on in my world right now. It's taking me out of the presence of the fact that I'm in New York one of the greatest cities in the world. I'm watching a world-class comedian, and I'm not even focused. And then people ask you after, oh my God, how was it? Good, yeah. Oh, and then another part, it's like when you go to a restaurant and you don't take a picture or film it. Did you even go? And I love it. I love going to restaurants. I love showing people what I eat. But at what point are you enjoying the food? You have to remember to enjoy the food as well. So like, hey, take the picture, post the story. Yes. Phone down after. I've been trying to do that. That's one of my things, like the phone down while I'm eating. It's one of my pet peeves. Trying to eat and like the person's on the phone or I'm on the phone. You got to enjoy the meal. You got to enjoy the experience from start to finish, end to end. And yeah. We're just starting to see it change. And a lot more changes will be happening in the world. I don't know what, but I've been thinking. And I'm trying to stay ahead of the curve. Ahead of the game. Or just being conscious of what's going on. Not turning a blind eye. I've done that in the past where it's, I don't understand it, so I'm not even gonna, I don't want to know. It doesn't make sense to know. I think that was a naive way of thinking, and opening up your mindset to different ideas, different thought lengths, anything like that will really kind of not only make you a better person, but it will really just change your outlook of life and how different people have different communities, different, just the way they grew up. People are different. And it's not good or bad thing. And sometimes I used to be judgmental of that. And, but you really have to kind of just let people live how they want to live and live your own life at the same time. And realize that something I realized more than more is that not everyone's compatible. Some people they just don't mix, and it sucks, but it's just the truth. And maybe your time is better spent with someone else that meshes well with you, that complements your personality or your skill set. Finding someone that's not identical to you is very key. And realizing that not everybody likes what I like has been very key. The fact that they have different traits and different strengths, it's very key. It's been very, very eye-opening for myself. And I'm just ranting here, but this is something that I've wanted to kind of get off my chest and just learn. By getting it all out, I can really use this as a journal, as a way of clearing my mind, and just becoming zen with it. But to my point, real quick, I'm going to just brush up on this and then probably end this. In 2021, just focus on the fact that not everyone is the same as you. Don't try to change their mind. Focus on what's best for you. And enjoy life. hook up with someone that has different life goals with you, in the sense where it's like, not literally hook up, but link up with them. Maybe they can teach you something that you didn't know. I started hanging out with people that are planners. They plan everything. They know what they're going to eat tomorrow, and they know what they're going to have for breakfast next Thursday, a week from now. But the fascinating thing is that I learned a lot from that. I might not agree with everything, but at the same time doesn't mean that you can't learn from it. And that goes with religion too. People bash religion, this and that. People bash whatever. People bash everything. Oh, you're a vegetarian. Oh, you do keto. Just remember, there's a little bit of good in everything. That's what I think. There's a little bit of good in everyone. There's a little bit of good in everything. Even like French fries. They taste good. They might not be good for you, but there's a little bit of good. It tastes good. So that's really kind of just, a little 30 minutes, a little bit more than that. I just wanted to kind of talk a bit and see where this would have gone. And thinking about, how am I going to adapt now? It's 2021. The world is in a pandemic. What's my role in the world? How do I fit in? How do we fit in? What happens in the next year, the next 3 years, the next 5? Right? Do people go back to school, or are they homeschooled for the time being? Is it 50-50? I truly believe some parents will probably homeschool their kids. Work remotely, take their kids wherever they go. And that's a way of education as well. Looking back on my education and childhood, you realize a lot of good, but a lot of bad as well, right? Like, some of the teachers I had growing up were not great teachers. And you kind of realize that you may learn more in 1 year from one teacher than another, whether that is from, it could even be the teacher just not liking you. Simple as that, because that's happened to me as well. It's unfortunate, but it happens. So what I'm saying is, the trend towards online education and online everything, online sales, online therapy, online fitness, where we are never going to be the same. And that's why you're listening to my voice on a podcast, probably because you haven't seen me in a while. And you're like, what the hell is this dude up to? And yeah, I miss you guys. I miss like going out with people. I miss restaurants. I miss going to the gym, like just being able to be active. I think a lot of it has to do with our weather, and the worst part of our pandemic kind of I don't want to say the worst, but towards, as the weather got cold, things started rising in cases, and yeah, not great. Not wonderful. It's taking a toll on everyone, but we're staying strong. We're eating our greens, taking our vitamin D, wearing our masks. We're not fucking around. We're staying healthy. We're going to get vaccinated. We're going to look back on this podcast and be like, God damn, that was moons ago. The world's so different. I hope I can look back on this in a couple years and be like, damn, you really started this like that? The world was a completely different place. Self-driving cars are in. Everything's in. Electric. I'm excited for that. I'm excited for the whole, in a way, really automizing. Yeah, whatever. Certain industries that needed it. I feel like learning to code and learning software is going to be a very key subject. It probably be intertwined with math. I think math needed a little bit of a revamp. I mean, I don't even think they taught us, well, I know they didn't teach us personal finance. That should be a course too. I hope after the pandemic ends, they'll start looking into that. Another one that's been bothering me recently is when we were in high school, we had careers. I remember that, grade 10. Half a semester or something like that. Half was careers, half was civics. And then you were signed up with your guidance counselor who knows nothing about you. And you kind of have to try to figure out your life when you're 16, 17. A lot of pressure. Now more than ever, because you can choose to go to, probably now you can go to any university. I'm sure they're all going to be online soon. And you can study anything. It's nonsense. It's wild. Like, there's literally so many courses that I get emailed for because, I've taken one before online. And it's honestly overwhelming. It kind of gives me anxiety sometimes, where I'm like, fuck, there's so much to learn. There's so little time. Or I think I have little time because I haven't been optimizing my time correctly. Instead of an hour on Instagram and Reddit, I can spend an hour with a lecture. And yeah, I do find that it's hard to keep yourself accountable. And that's why paying money for things works, like paying for a trainer, buying a book instead of downloading it, paying for a course, because you're actually adding value. You're paying for it. You automatically kind of take it a little bit more serious, because now you can learn so much. You can go on YouTube and pull up Yale, Harvard. It's all there. But because we have so much opportunity, so much stimulation, I'm speaking for myself, by the way. Maybe you feel the same way too. You kind of get lost on like where to start because you're getting pulled in 10 different directions. And some people have very focused careers and focused minds, and I love them for that. But I don't. I mean, I wish there was something I could say, hey, I'll happily do this all day or a day. But talking is one of them. So maybe I found it. I like to talk. Been paid to talk for the last, let's say, 15 years. So maybe we'll see. We'll see where this goes. And that's just me rambling. I'm going to sign off. Have yourselves a wonderful day. Thank you for listening to this. It will get better. You will get better. We will get through this. And let's make it happen. If you have any comments, feedback, or anything that I said that was wrong or you liked, just reach out, because I'm more than happy to talk and just be connected. If I haven't seen you or we haven't spoken to in years and you're listening to this, holla at me. Let's connect. Take care, guys. Have a wonderful day.